So hey guys, thanks for joining me for another video. Welcome to the Random Watch Dude channel, and today I'm going to talk to you about the next step in my watch collecting journey, and I'm kind of going to give this video a working title of what next for the hungry watch collector. And I think a lot of you guys will understand, you'll commiserate with me on this, because watch collectors are always hungry, aren't we? To use the food analogy, we're always hungry. We can't just be satisfied with a three-course meal and have our dessert, you know, and be done with it. No, once we've had dessert, we want to go back and have another three-course meal. Of course we do. We're hungry. We're always hungry. There's an insatiable appetite, isn't there, in the watch collecting hobby. So I've been collecting watches, guys, for 10 years, which I know is nowhere near as long as some of you. You know, some of you guys have been, you know, collecting watches for 25, 30, 40 years. But 10 years is long enough, I think, for me to have kind of been through some of these cycles that we all go through, to a point where I kind of understand right now that I'm at the end of a cycle and I'm going to have to start a new one. I can't just be happy, I can't just be satisfied. So guys, in this video I'm going to give you the 7 possibilities, the 7 steps that I could take next in my watch collecting journey. Okay, so I finally achieved my my utopian paradise, guys. I got the Submariner, the 124060. Been chasing this watch for a while. Not my first Rolex either, not my first Rolex, and I'm not bragging, I'm just saying that, you know, it's not my first Rolex. I didn't achieve utopia just because I got a Rolex. I achieved utopia, and I do genuinely feel like I'm in watch collecting utopia. I achieved it because I got the Sub, the 124060. Now I'll tell you something about this watch, guys, and I've had it for a month now, just over a month. I can't take it off my wrist, guys. The only time it came off my wrist was when I had to send it back to the Rolex AD because the hands were misaligned. Okay, right? And it turns out, if you'd seen my last video, I made a video about my hands being misaligned and the fact that I took it back to the Rolex service center and they fixed it. And of course I made a video, and in the comments, guys, boy, I was not the only person that's had this problem with a Rolex of all brands. I'm not the only person who's had this problem. I won't be the last. So I dealt with that. I took it back, got it fixed, and now, you know, this watch, you know, I just can't take it off my wrist, guys. You know, I even sort of I resent having to take it off when I go to bed. You know, I kind of want to take it to bed with me and just wear it all night, you know, and I wake up in the morning. Of course I don't, because I tend to find that it gets a little bit uncomfortable on the wrist if I sleep in a funny position. But so I do take it off because I don't sleep comfortably necessarily with the watch on. But yeah, I can't wait, guys, to put it back on in the morning. It's that kind of watch. So yes, look, I'm in honeymoon period. Some of you guys will be saying, yeah, okay, Mark, you're in honeymoon period. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. It's the honeymoon of honeymoons, guys. I'm in watch utopia. But I've got to the stage now where I'm starting to think, well, you know, usually when I buy a new watch, within 2 or 3 weeks, I'm starting to think about the next one. I'm not at that stage. I genuinely feel right now, guys, I've got 8 watches in my collection. It's not a massive burgeoning collection. I've got 8 watches. Normally in my watch collection I've got one or two that are on thin ice. I've got 1 or 2 watches in my collection that are on thin ice. My current collection of 8 watches, every single watch, and I've thought about this in a lot of detail, guys, every single watch of those 8 watches that are in my collection right now, they're keepers, you know, they're staying. There isn't a single watch that I've got, which includes the Panerai Luminor, which I bought recently. Absolutely adore that watch. You know, I've got another Rolex. I've got a GMT Master 2 Riddler. I adore it. I've got a Tudor Pelagos FXD Marine Nationale. Why would I ever want to sell that watch? It's adorable. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. I wear it when I go kayaking. I love it. I've got an Omega Seamaster 2254.5 that recently came back from a service. It's like a brand new watch. I adore it. You know, these are watches, guys, that are never going to get sold. And I've got a couple of other nostalgia related watches, I guess, you know, that have been with me for a long time or were handed to me from family. They're staying with me, of course. So I really don't have an appetite for more watches right now, and I certainly don't have an appetite to sell anything that I've got. So what next, guys? What next? So I've come up with 7 options, okay? I've come up with 7 options. Hear me out on this. These are the 7 steps that I could take, the 7 options that I think that I currently have in the next stage of my watch collecting journey. Okay, so option number 1, do nothing. Do nothing. Just enjoy your watches. Why do you have to take another step? Why do you have to do anything else? Why do you have to think about other options? Why can't you just do nothing and enjoy your watches? Option number 2, buy more Swiss luxury watches. Just keep buying Swiss luxury watches, guys. Just keep buying, never mind Swiss, just keep buying luxury watches. Keep dropping 10 grand every now and then on a luxury watch. Why not? Number 3, go back to your roots, go back to Seiko. Go back to Seiko, because that's where it all started for me. And I'm going to include in the Seiko sphere, I'm going to include micro brands. Seiko and micro brands. So what I'm referring to here basically is just relatively inexpensive watches, not necessarily hype watches either. Seiko and micro brands. What a rabbit hole that would be for me to go down. Option number 4, guys, vintage. Now we're talking serious deep rabbit holes. We're not even talking rabbit holes anymore. We're talking boreholes. We're talking journey to the center of the earth holes when we go down the hole that is vintage watch collecting. Oh my God. And you know, actually I've had a thought about this. If I did really jump into the journey to the center of the earth hole, which is vintage watches, I would probably have to narrow that down to a specific type of watch. And guess what? I've decided what that watch would be, guys. It would be another bloody Submariner. I'd probably go chasing the 5513, which is, you know, one of the early Submariners from the 60s and 70s. I could do that. That's option number 4, the journey to the center of the earth. Option number 5. Option number 5. Okay, be a one watch guy. Now I've made a video about this in the past, and my advice, if you were suffering exhausting amounts of time just thinking about watches, my suggestion was that you just sell everything that you've got and just go with one watch. Be a one watch guy. And I recommended the Rolex Submariner. I could be a one watch guy, guys. I could be a one watch guy. I could sell everything in my collection and just spend the rest of my days with the Sub, which I miss when I'm asleep. Option number 6, guys, nostalgia watches. So nostalgia watches, and what do I mean by that? As an example, a nostalgia watch is a watch that reminds you of something in your past. Now, the most recent example I've got of that would be I've just reignited some nostalgia. I had and I'll put a picture up here of the exact watch. It was a watch that I bought in 2002. I still own it. It's 2002. I bought it brand new when I used to live back in the UK. And I remember I bought this watch within a week or two of meeting a lovely young lady who turned out to be my wife, and is still my wife 22 years later. I actually bought this watch. I remember buying it. Walked into a sports shop, a sports apparel shop, and there was a whole kiosk of watches that at that time were being manufactured and sold by an apparel brand called Animal. Now, Animal's a big brand, I think, still in the UK. I love Animal's t-shirts, shorts, sun hats. Love Animal equipment. At that time, back in the early 2000s, they were also selling watches with their own branding on. And this is a titanium watch. It's a 40mm diameter case, titanium watch. It's got a Seiko quartz movement inside it. It's waterproof to 200 meters. It's a fantastic watch, guys. Now, I took that watch off, I'm going to say 15 years ago. I took that watch off. I put it in a drawer. The battery ran out. The underside of the case gassed up, because when batteries expire on a watch, quite often they give off a gas, and that you know, you can see that because it gasses up. It almost sort of mists up the back of the crystal. That happened, and I kind of I kind of just forgot about it really. I don't know why exactly. I think it's just because it was in the drawer and it needed a bit of work to get it going again, and I wasn't all that bothered about it. But just recently I got that watch going again. I cleaned it up myself, I changed the battery, and I've been wearing that watch off and on over the last 2-3 weeks. When I can take when I can take the sub off for a few minutes, and so that's what I would refer to as a nostalgia watch. Other nostalgia watches, I'm chasing a couple at the moment. I'm looking at a couple of watches that I used to own, models that I used to own back in my early 20s, that I don't know if I regret not having them anymore because I wasn't into watches then, but they're certainly watches that remind me of a period of time. I could look at that, guys. So that's number 6. That's nostalgia watches, chasing watches that remind you of a certain point in your life. Number 7, and I'm going to finish the video on number 7, guys. I'm not going to go into any great detail about number 7, but I think a lot of you that have been following my videos for a little while, and a lot of you that have been maybe in the watch collecting hobby for a little while and collect watches like I do, and tend to be very fickle watch collectors as well, and you'll know what I mean by fickle. You know, one minute you're a dress watch guy to the end of your life, and the next minute, you know, you divers watches all the way. Guys, number 7, just blow the whole thing up and start again.